If you break a finger, it can be gently moved back to its normal position. Then a piece of metal is placed along the bottom to support it. This splint is wrapped with straps to hold it firmly in place, preventing you from accidentally moving it.
I rock like pebble, jump for your sheet, you hear this beat, coming like heavy metal. If you got a business, bro, please set it in stone like rock. I came with a brand new boat. Like man, have guys all shot, don't like Uzi, but this thing rocks. Aye. I know you wanna hear some hi-hats.
If you shot a police badge, you might think the bullet would ricochet off. But silver and gold badges are soft enough to bend with your hands, meaning they have no chance of saving the officer's life. A brass badge is harder and would slow down the bullet, but it would still go right through.
I rock like pebble, jump for your sheet, you hear this beat, coming like heavy metal.
Metal brackets and wires were fixed onto the jawbones. He was trapped in waist-deep snow during a deadly...
I rock like pebble, jump for your sheet, you hear this beat, coming like heavy metal. If you got a business, bro, please set it in stone like rock. I came with a brand new boat. Like man, have guys all shot, don't like Uzi, but this thing rocks. Rock.
Could you be thrown off of a water slide if you go too fast? Well, as you're sliding, gravity is constantly pulling you downward, and the amount of water between your skin and the slide helps control your speed. The curves and turns are carefully designed to ensure that you stay on the slide. But if you exceed the weight and height limits, there is a
I rock like pebble, jump for your sheet, you hear this beat, coming like heavy metal. If you got a business, bro, please set it in stone like rock. I came with a brand new boat. Like man, have guys all shot, don't like Uzi, but this thing rocks.
As he pulled the earbud out, a piece of it snapped off inside his ear. Now he didn't realize it at the time, but over time...
I rock like pebble, jump for your sheet, you hear this beat, coming like heavy metal. If you got a business, bro, please set it in stone like rock. I came with a brand new boat. Like man, have guys all shot, don't like Uzi, but this thing rocks. Rock. Aye. I know you wanna hear some.
A group of robbers began digging a tunnel beneath Baker Street in London in 1971. Their goal was to break into the vault of Lloyd's Bank next door. You see, they rented a nearby store and used it as their base, working every weekend night to dig through the ground towards the vault. The timing was perfect. Roadwork had disabled the vault's floor alarms. Using walkie-talkies to communicate, they thought they were in the clear, but someone overheard their conversations and called the police. Officers checked the vault door, but since it was still locked, they didn't think anything was wrong. While you're distracted with the coin trick, their fingers subtly slip the clasp open, loosening the watch without you even realizing it. At the same time, they'll make small movements to pull the watch away from your wrist, hiding it in their palm. Because your mind... If a grenade is thrown at you, your first instinct might be to run. But when it explodes, the metal casing fragments and becomes shrapnel, which can travel over 600 feet per second in... Embedding a magnet in your fingertip would let you feel electromagnetic fields. The magnet vibrates slightly, allowing you to detect hidden electronics or wires, and connecting it to an infrared device would let you feel the distance of objects. You could even use it for party tricks, attracting small objects as if by magic. Eventually, though, the magnet would lose its strength. A man burst out of his grave after he died. He was known as an undead creature who was said to stalk his widow and knock on people's doors at night before returning to his coffin. Whoever's house he visited would soon die. After 16 years of terror, the villagers finally opened his coffin and found his body perfectly preserved with a smile. The woman burst into flames in her home in 1885. The fire consumed her body, leaving only her feet intact, and her husband died.
I rock like pebble, jump from your sheet. You hear this beat? Coming like heavy metal. Round. If you got a business, bro, please set it in stone like rock.
Some people have the ability to pop their A man fell behind a large refrigerator unit at the supermarket where he worked in 2009. Now, he was seriously trapped, but his cries for help were drowned out by the noise of the coolers. Days passed, and weeks turned into months with no leads on his whereabouts. It was 10 years later that contractors began working on the now abandoned supermarket. As they moved the refrigerator unit, they found If you step on this hidden wire, it pulls a spring-loaded mechanism connected to a gun's trigger. As the spring pulls back, it causes the gun's firing pin to strike the primer, which ignites the gunpowder inside the cartridge. This explosion creates high-pressure gas, propelling the bullet out of the barrel. The bullet then shoots forward, aimed directly at where the trap was set, and causing some... If you fall into a volcano crater, you should try to grab onto a ledge before you hit the bottom. If you can't, stand on your backpack to get away from the heat. Now, this intense heat can cause burns even without direct contact. So cover your face and body with any available material to shield yourself. You should also move quickly away from the lava flow.
I rock like pebble, jump from your sheet. You hear this beat? Coming like heavy metal. Round. If you got a business, bro, please set it in stone like rock. Raw. I came with a brand new board. Like man, have guys all shot.
They decided to throw rocks for fun, sending them tumbling down the cliff. But what they didn't realize was that an experienced climber was climbing below. He was nearing the top when one of the rocks, about the size of a bowling ball, struck him directly on the head.
I rock like pebble, jump from your sheet. You hear this beat? Coming like heavy metal. Round. If you got a business, bro, please set it in stone like rock. Raw. I came with a...
Try running in a zigzag pattern. If there's a solid object like a tree nearby, use it as a barrier between you and the bowl. If it tosses you, try to stay If you're attacked by a swarm of bees, most people would jump into water to try and escape them. But the bees will just wait for you to resurface before attacking again. Instead, you should cover your face.
I rock like pebble, jump from your sheet. You hear this beat? Coming like heavy metal. Round. If you got a business, bro, please set it in stone like rock. Raw. I came with a brand new board. Like man, have guys all shot, don't like Uzi, but this thing rock.